Hey, what's going on? Eric Cipolla here. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to go over my exact strategy for how to build a semi-automated Shopify store that makes $300 to $500 a day in consistent profits. And you'll be able to do this all by copying the proven processes that I personally put into, all of my time and all of my energy into, and you're going to get my exact high ticket, high profit margin products from US based luxury brands that you yourself can go out and sell right now. And then I'm going to give you the exact Google shopping ad strategy that will get you laser targeted customers for these products because these people on Google are already looking to buy them. And then lastly, I'm going to give you the exact authorized dealer model that we use in our own stores to sell these products, where we just, sell the products on behalf of the brands and they handle everything else. You don't have to buy, store, ship anything. They'll take care of it for you. And the best part is we don't spend a dollar upfront inventory until someone buys something from us. Using this exact strategy, myself personally, I was able to go from zero to $286,000 in my first 10 months. And you can see that right here. So today, make sure to stay tuned into this whole training because you're going to be learning from someone that's actually been running this whole business for over 3.5 years across multiple stores. So if you already have a 9-to-5 job, maybe you're a young professional that's currently building your career and you just want a second stream of income or have more time freedom overall. And I don't just mean, being able to pay your bills and having something over to save, like that's okay, but never having to worry about how bills are paid again. And never worry about price tags when you're out. When you're out with your friends, you say, oh, I got it. Don't worry about it. Or you get to eat whatever restaurants you ever want to. You never have to check how much their menu is. Or, you're just feeling like you want to have a night in. You order DoorDash and you don't think twice about it because you have plenty of money in your bank account to be able to pretty much have that flexibility to do that whenever you want. And even if you like to travel like I do, take trips to Bora Bora, like me and the squad. This was 2021 and we went out there and it was an amazing time because we had the ability to do so. We each had businesses that gave us that flexibility. And on top of that, have the time freedom to spend your time with whoever you want, be wherever you want. And, if that's you, then that's the best part of this business model. It doesn't even matter if you have a lot of time currently or a ton of capital to put into a business. You don't need $100,000 to start a franchise, and you don't need to put in 40 hours a week here, because what we're going to be teaching you today is a complete system that only takes 20 to 40 minutes per day to run so that you don't have to work a ton of hours at your job and dedicate more to another business, another side hustle on top. But this way, you can actually focus on getting freedom, both financially and with your time, because you can have an exact step-by-step system to make it happen. And then I'm going to show you how to get your store up and running in record time, because it's not just about the long term, it's how fast can we get you to that point. That way, it doesn't take you 4 weeks or 8 weeks or even 12 weeks, 90 days to start seeing high profit sales of $500 to $1,000 or more come in, and then actually have them become successful and independent. You're going to be able to do that within 2 to 3 weeks because of the templates and the scripts that you're going to be getting. So if you're interested in all of that, make sure to watch this all the way through. But if you're not someone that wants more out of your life, or you're not someone that's interested in having a semi-automated business that profits $300 to $500 a day consistently, it's probably not for you. I'm looking to work with people that are go-getters and they want more out of life because they know they don't want to settle for average. They want to have more, and they know that they deserve more. Their family deserves more. Everyone around them deserves the best that life has to offer. And that's who I want to work with, someone who's hungry to make that happen. So make sure to stay all the way to the end, because we're going to have a free bonus for everyone that watches this entire training. And you're going to get it 100% for free, no strings attached. What it is my product and niche cheat sheet, which has over 120 different examples of high ticket products that you can start selling right away. So if you watch this entire video, that's actually going to be in your email ready for you. And you're going to be able to plug it into your business immediately after you watch this video. And I promise, if you just follow these steps, the sequences in the system, and there's only 3 steps, this will jumpstart your e-commerce business and get you off the ground. So make sure to stay tuned until the very end. And in a moment, I'm going to be sharing these exact 3 steps with you. And these are the battle-proven strategies that took me from 0 to 286K in our first 10 months that you saw before. And since then, you've had many days and many months with sales of 5,000, 10,000, $20,000 on a single sale, and even days and months of 40K or more on just 3 to 4 sales in total. Got a $14,000 day on 2 orders, $42,000 day on 2 orders, a $51,000 month on 4 orders. That comes up to 1 sale per week on average, which is doable for anyone, no matter their experience level with e-commerce. And so this does not work the old traditional way of using Facebook ads to sell cheap garbage from China. That is outdated. That worked maybe 10 years ago. But what we're actually doing is tapping into Google to sell high-end products that cost $3,000 or more to people that are already in the market to buy those exact products. With this strategy, me and my students consistently see returns of 10 to 30x on our ads, where we spend as little as $50 to $100 to make a sale of 3 to 5K. An example of mine that's always stuck out to me as I was working with a new brand, the second day I was working with them, I had their products linked to Google between them and my store, and we spent $11 total that day to make a $5,600 sale. And what we sold was a steak dry aging machine. As you can see the sale right there. And the reason I show you this is not to brag, but I show it to you because there's a lot of people out there that aren't actually doing this. So I just want to show you from someone that's actually done this before. It has plenty of experience in this business, and I still run my stores to this day because that's important. I'm going to teach you exactly how to apply these steps for your business in just a minute so you can do this too. But first, let me introduce myself a little bit so you have some context on who you're actually listening to right now. I'm not some motivational guru. I'm not going to be some, Joe Schmo standing on a hilltop preaching to you. I'm not going to be some cheat code or just some random coach. And no offense to anyone. I'm not trying to bring anyone else down who does that. But I'm here to actually make a difference in people's lives. And my name is Eric Cipolla. And ever since I cracked this code, I've been able to make 6 figures per year in e-commerce with less than a dozen sales per month. But it wasn't always that easy. It wasn't always, sunshine and rainbows. This whole business did not fall from the sky for me. I had to go through a lot to get here. I had to learn everything from scratch. I basically trial and error. I had to go through a bunch of frustration to get here. Because when I first started with my e-commerce journey years ago now, I tried everything. I tried print on demand. I tried selling cheap stuff from AliExpress and using Facebook ads. And I spent so much time and so much money just to start over and over from scratch. And the most recent example of this failure that I had, I sold pet products from AliExpress, and I tried to use Facebook to get them to sell. And I spent $1,000 on ads and didn't make any sales. You can imagine how frustrating that is trying to sell, a $20, a $40 product and spending $1,000 to do it and not making one sale. That sucks. That really, really sucks. And I put so much time and so much effort into building some that other gurus, like people on YouTube, told me would work. And what I realized was that if those YouTube videos out there that, have this, use this winning product, if they all worked, everybody would be selling the same stuff and everybody would be rich if they actually worked, but they don't. And I wondered why that was. I had nothing to show for what I had at that point. And it was tough. I was a broke 21-year-old college student that had just dropped out to pursue a entrepreneurial business full time. This is what I was going to do. I had no backup plan. So I had to make something work. So after failing over and over in ecom, I felt like I was spinning my wheels and getting nowhere with it. And funny enough, right around the time that I was about to just give up and go back to college and get a normal job, pretty much, I was already in the business school here at University of South Carolina. I was basically going to go get a finance degree and go get an office job somewhere doing finance or doing marketing. But then it was right around that time that I discovered this new model selling high-end products. And I didn't have to use these really expensive Facebook ads. And I didn't have to waste my time trying to find a winning product like everybody tries to say on YouTube, right? So I took it and I ran with it. And a few short weeks later, once I actually launched my store on ads, I cracked the code. And again, it's not some magical code. I just did it through trial and error. I figured it out, right? I just made it work. I was able to build a system though out of it that was very predictable, where I can make $300 to $500 a day or more in profit with my Shopify store. And 90% of people who are going to e-commerce fail. And those that succeed usually sacrifice a lot of their time. They take a lot of risks up front. And basically they're working hard and not working smart. They go about it the wrong way. So today, what we're going to be teaching you is how to work smarter and not harder by using the right system. So imagine being able to have a system where you could have almost exclusive rights as a dealer for different brands to sell their products of $3,000 or more. And then you'll take home $500 to $1,000 or more in profit on every sale you make. And you'll only have to market to only the people that already want to buy them on Google. Best of all, you'll be able to run this system like clockwork for years to come consistently. Like I said, I've been doing this over 3.5 years now myself with the exact same brands that I started with back then. During peak of COVID, by the way, when the supply chain issues were rampant, that's when I started. And I'm still using the same suppliers today and being successful with them. And that's what life is like for me nowadays. And today, growing the same business is not just some guesswork. I'm not hoping the month goes well. It's a proven strategy that works over and over again. This is a system that's allowed me to scale my businesses, that for every dollar that we put into Google Ads, we create $25 back minimum. When we're able to do this, we have a lean team. It's me and a couple of VAs to handle listing, to handle customer service, things like that. That way I have more time to enjoy my personal life, because freedom is important to me and it should be to you as well, so that we get to both continue growing to new heights. So if I got sick or died tomorrow, my business would keep on growing and my family would be taken care of pretty much forever. No one likes to think about it this way. But isn't that really why we all do this though? We don't do it just to work long hours and have tons of pain and tons of sacrifice and we're all hustling like Gary Vee says, right? That's not why we're in the game. We really truly just want freedom for ourselves, for our friends, for our family. We don't want to have to, work in our entire lives just, enjoy it later. We want to enjoy the best that life has to offer for us now. No matter what that best looks like for us individually, we want to experience it. And we want to experience it as often as we can, but life gets in the way because we have to work. But it shouldn't be like that, right? We do it because we want to build a legacy. And that's what I'm going to be teaching you how to do today with e-commerce. How you actually build a legacy so you can actually have freedom today and also build a future for tomorrow for your family and for all your loved ones. And then, the real question to make this happen though is, how did I do it? And I'm going to get into the meat and potatoes here, the actual systems that I use to this day and how I did it. So make sure to take notes on this and pay close attention to all of it. So let's dive in. The first thing we'll need is to find the products people want to buy. So what's popular and what's selling right now, etc. Because why would you sell something that people don't want to buy? You'll never make any money that way. Once you know what people want to buy, then all we have to do is give them what they want and they'll pay us in exchange. And in our case, with this e-commerce method, they'll pay us very, very well. Once they give us the money in exchange, then we automate the whole process. So we're not the ones doing the work ourselves. Like I said, I have a couple of VAs that automate everything for me. So here's how we start that process. The best way to find out what people want to buy is with a Google search. And what's cool about Google is it will give you everything you need. It'll tell you what's selling, what's popular, etc. And like I said, we're looking to sell high-end products at $3,000 or more each. So let's actually hop over to a Google search and I'll show you that. For us, we'll start with a search, buy sauna online. And I already have that tab up right here. So I searched buy saunas online. So all we have to do to find out what people want to buy is hop over here to the shopping tab. And because we want to look at high-end saunas specifically, like you see some stuff that's cheaper than that, we want to go over here to the price filter, right? And we want to put in a minimum of $1,000. So that way we're only seeing high-end saunas. From here, what we want to do is look for other e-commerce dealers, other authorized dealers, because the idea being is that if those people can sell those saunas online and have no warehousing and no retail showroom like we do. I'm assuming wherever you come from, you don't have a warehouse just sitting around where you can hold a bunch of saunas and you've got capital to hold, 10, 20 saunas that are $6,000 a piece. I doubt you do. You do, that's great, but most people don't. And so we need to figure out a way to work with brands that will ship the saunas for us and won't charge us for the saunas until after we've already made a sale. This is still drop shipping, but we need to find brands that basically allow us to drop ship their stuff. How do we do that? Well, again, we are looking for other competing drop shippers' websites, because the idea being is if those brands that they work with allow them to sell their stuff, if we went to those same brands, they would allow us to sell their stuff too, because we're the same type of business. We're also an e-commerce retailer that wants to drop ship their products. So instead of working with somebody like SaunasNet right here, where you see SaunasNet as a vendor name and they're selling their own product, their name is in the title of the item. Instead of that, that's a brand selling their own stuff. What we're going to look for is a third-party site that could be advertising. This up here are Google shopping ads, or down here in the free listings for Google, the organic side of one of these sites that are selling saunas but aren't selling their own stuff. And they're also not Amazon. Like Amazon here is selling Radiant saunas, but you also see that 10 plus other people are also selling Radiant saunas, right? So we can come in here, click this button, and then everybody here has permission. All of these big box retailers like Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot, they all have permission to sell Radiant saunas, but then so do everybody else down here, right? All these websites do. So these could be e-commerce retailers. Another brand, Sunray, which I've actually worked with myself in the past. Again, Sunray Saunas here is selling their own stuff, but so are, again, 10 plus other people. So if we click this, right, and then we see, again, eBay and some other sauna sites, but then we see other sites that have niche names: Recovery for Athletes, Calm Spas, Sauna Heatwave, US Bath Store, Strength Warehouse. So other types of sites that aren't necessarily have to do anything with saunas potentially that are selling them. And then what we could do is open up some of them and just take a look, right? So this store is down, no big deal. But then we see, boom, we see a dropshipper. And we see another dropshipper. So we just found two dropshippers. The tab that I just showed you, and we have this one here as well. We see a live chat in the corner, the business phone number up here, the business email, they have available hours. All of these are signs that they are a dropshipper in this space. Also another dead giveaway, right? That they are a dropshipper and not a brand is that if they sell multiple brands. Because if you were, Apple, why would you as Apple sell other people's phones or computers, right? You'd only sell your own stuff. But sites like this, they're going to have, if we click into brands here, they're going to have multiple brands. They have Body Solid, and they have Body Craft, and they have Dynamic Saunas, and they have Body Core. So multiple different product types across multiple different brands. So that is literally all you have to do to find high-end products. Because now we started with just saunas, right? But then we found a store here specifically that sells fitness products. So if you like fitness, here you go. You've got multiple different fitness brands that you can go into, right? And then you got cold plunge tubs, and you got Jacob's ladders, and you've got, treadmills, all sorts of different products from one single Google search. It is that simple, guys. Let's hop back over here. So like I said, we're looking for dropshippers, and because with the model we use, we want to work with the brands that want e-commerce dealers like us, because we don't want to have to deal with the warehousing or, the fulfillment or the customer service. We want the brand to take care of all of that. But, these dealers, these brands, why would they want to work with us, right? Because they don't sell their own stuff ideally, right? Most cases, they don't sell their own products. Sunray does, and some do, right? But they'll still allow other people to sell as well because it's a win-win. Think about it. If you just have pretty much other people selling your stuff for you, you're paying up no other additional advertising costs to make it happen. And two, it's free customers essentially. You just pay out the profit margin that you want to give, and you can establish that upfront, which most brands do. They'll say, hey, you sell our products for us, we'll give you, I don't know, 30%, right? So you still make 70% profit as a brand, but then you've got 20, 30, 50 people selling your saunas or your massage chairs for you. So from the brand's perspective, it makes a lot of sense. And so for us, it makes sense to sell them as well. So we want to have these partnerships with these brands because it's a win-win for everybody. And so going even further, there are a few strategies we use to spy on what these other dropshippers, like you just saw, what they're selling the most of. So we can see what their most popular, best-selling brands are and be able to sell those brands ourselves and tap into the massive demand of those brands. And so if you stay to the rest of the training, you'll get access to, again, that product or niche cheat sheet that gives you 120 products that you can use. So instead of saying buy saunas online, you can say buy, one of those 120 products online and start your own unique search and know what you can sell on your store right away. And so one of the best things about this model that we use is you get to predict your revenue with an industry low cost of acquisition. What I mean by that is if you're high ticket dropshipping, you're going to be able to predict your revenue. And that's the best thing about the Google Shopping ads. And that's why you need it. Because one, you're going to get sales and you know how you're going to get the sales, where they're going to come from, and you know what you need to spend to make them happen. And when you understand how much you need to spend, then you can predict your revenue. And for us, that number is about 5 to 10% of a product's cost. So if you're selling a $5,000 sauna, you need to spend at most $500 to make a sale because you're going to be making 25 to 40% profit, which still leaves you with over $1,000 in pure profit on that sauna. So that way, you don't have to worry about going into a slow season or going into Christmas and your sales going down because, if you spend X amount, here's the results that you can expect. And here's a few of my students that are doing exactly that. Mason, coming home and seeing a sale while watching Netflix. And then just today, I was talking to my student, Justin, and he crossed today $30,000 on his store total since he started ads about 90 days ago. So been doing about $10,000 a month. And then Miriam, she's been making sales like this very, very consistently, at least a couple a week, and one of them for $2,200. And we have so many of these different stories from all sorts of walks of life. Most of our students have 9-to-5s. Like Justin, he's an aspiring musician and has a different job and still can run his store, right? Miriam she's now an entrepreneur full time and does e-commerce full time. And Mason is a craftsman local to me, actually here in South Carolina, and he has his full 9-to-5 and this store on top. And, I don't want to bore you with all of their stories, right? But I want to show you that these people that have gotten these results are not rocket scientists. They're real people who have real results, who just put in the right system. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. They just copied what I was doing, what was working. And so the second step, the second piece to having this high ticket Shopify store making, $300 to $500 of profit a day are the products that we're going to be selling themselves. The best ones are high demand with high profit margins, at least 25 to 40%. But most importantly, these products you don't have to buy up front, store, or ship yourself. And the best way is that people do that for you. This is no different than from what Amazon, Walmart, or Home Depot do. These brands, they basically front the products to the brands, right? And then they get paid after it's sold. And so for us to do this, we just have to apply as an authorized dealer, authorized retailer of these brands we found in step one. It's fundamental to our success, as we talked about briefly, because these AD relationships are not only how we get access to the products we'll sell on their behalf, but these partnerships can last for years and years to come, which gives you a truly sustainable business that you can't find anywhere else online. As an AD, you have the rights to sell their products, use their logo, use their marketing materials, and they'll handle all the shipping and even customer service for you. And as normal, you don't spend $1 on your items until you already made a sale. It's the best form of dropshipping that there is, since there's already brand awareness and demand built in for the products you're selling. And if you don't have this type of partnership, you'll always find yourself starting over every few months, wondering when you're actually going to be able to make it with an online business. So now we have to tie everything together. Instead of spending hours and hours learning web design, learning how to code and building a store from scratch, all you have to do is use this link right here and grab a Shopify store for $1 a month for 3 months. And so it'll look like this, and you just start your free trial from there, right? And then you create a simple demo store that looks similar to this and take you a weekend to do. My demo store that I teach off of is in the kitchen and bath niche. It's called Bath Department. And so we use a theme like Shoptimize and simply fill in the blanks with whatever products and niche you decide to sell in. So for me, this store I wanted to teach off of sells things like sinks, standing showers, tubs, vanities. And so for each of these categories, we just have a bunch of random demo products up here. These are a bunch of random products from like Amazon, I think. And so what I would do if I wanted to sell in this niche is show this to those brands in that space to apply as an authorized dealer, get the approval, and then take down these demo products and list up the products from the brands that I am selling. It's that simple. And the best part is I made this site, I filled in the blanks on the theme that I just mentioned a second ago in about an hour and a half total, front to back. All of the pages that you see here, all of this was made in about an hour. So then once you show that to the brand, you'll get approved to become a dealer for them, and they'll send you all the information that you need. And all that's left is to take down the demo products of your store and put up theirs. It's that simple, like I was saying before. And nothing about this is guesswork. We don't leave it up for God to decide. We have to make sure that we have a system and we stick to it. So I'm going to give you guys a peek into our $1 million supplier validation checklist that we use every single day. And if you get lucky, you might be able to get access to this thing. So that's going to come with the supplier sheet. And basically the validation comes down to how many, branded competitors are we looking at when we search for the brands that we sell? How much search volume do they get? Is there MAP pricing? Is everybody selling the exact same price, the minimum advertised price? And then from there, how much margin is there to make on each supplier? And then from there, you just make the decision on, okay, there is plenty of margin to be made. There is no race to the bottom because they have a MAP policy in place, which means pricing is consistent and you can't undercut each other, which again means that the pricing is stable, which is where the sustainability of this model comes from. And again, using this whole model, $10,000 on a single sale, $42,000 a month, right? $70,000 on a month. And this actually was two transactions, right? They wanted to split it up in half, one on one card, one on another, because you can imagine, $70,000 a business trying to pay me for, they had to split it up, which is no big deal. But, that's what it came out to. And lastly, the last thing that we have to do is get eyeballs on our store. And the easiest way to do that is go where people are already looking to buy the exact brands and products we sell. Where do people go when they're looking to buy something specific? They go to Google. So we have Google send us customers using the same shopping tab. This strategy gets us a consistent 10 to 30x ROAS. This is the lifeblood of our business, and it's how we get people that are already looking to buy our products onto our store and get them to buy from us. And the process to make this happen is super simple. All you have to do is connect your store to Google and turn the ads on. Luckily, an app inside Shopify called Simprosis can completely automate this setup process. It can be done in less than a day, start to finish, in as little as a few clicks. You just log into your Google account you're using for the store inside of Simprosis, connect everything with their software. It's literally step by step, and it does it. You just follow along. And it takes all of 30 seconds to click through once everything's connected. And once everything is linked, you'll be able to go into Google Ads, turn on these shopping ads, and have laser targeted traffic coming into your store the same day. The coolest part is that Google wants you to work with them. So they offer a $500 ad credit for new advertisers. And I actually checked today with a student of mine. They're even doing a better deal, right? So what they're actually doing is there is layers to this deal now. So it's not just after $500, you get $500 back. There's two additional options. If you spend more with them, they'll give you more back. I think now the middle deal is like if you spend, I think the number is $2,000, they'll give you $1,000 back after 2 months. And then if you spend $3,000, which is normal for us running this business, you'll get a full $1,500 back, credited back to you. And that's insane. That's basically fronting you a full month's worth of advertising 100% for free. Again, reimbursed in full with this $500 level, but a free month of advertising is unheard of on Facebook, on TikTok, because Google wants you to work with them. And our whole goal is for you to make your first highly profitable sales in that amount of time, in that amount of ad spend, so that moving forward, 100% of your business expenses come out of the profit that you already made, which means that you're profitable in your first month of running ads. No other online business out there can have people with zero experience profitable that quickly. And one of the best things about these Google Shopping ads is, again, you get to predict your revenue with an industry low cost of acquisition. So as you're running your ads and you're making sales, you're going to know exactly how much you can expect to make. And that's why you need these shopping ads. That's why they're so good. Because one, you're going to get sales. You're going to know how to get sales, and you know how much you need to spend to make them. And when you understand this, when it's innate to you how much you have to spend in order to get a sale, you can predict how much revenue your store will make. And again, you're not going to worry about going into a slow season because you're going to expect your results exactly. And at this point, you really have two options, all right? One is you can go at this alone. You can take all this information I gave you and go at it alone, and it's going to be free, but it's going to be slower. It's going to be full of mistakes like I did, right? Just, again, trial and error. And it might be expensive. I know for me, it was expensive in two ways. One, my time. It took me much longer to get going. And two, it cost me a little bit more because I had to figure everything out from scratch and spend the money to make it happen. And it's going to be painful, honestly. And I can only say that because I've been there, right? It took me, once I learned this, a good 4 to 5 months to actually get off the ground and launch everything. And that's what I did. And you'll probably get there, but it's going to take more time. And overall, beyond just this model with e-commerce in general, it's 2 or 3 years of trial and error with Shopify, with using the low ticket method and trying everything to make this work. But I don't want this to take 2 to 3 years. I don't want to even take 4 to 5 months like it took for me with this specifically, right? Option number two is you can choose to go at it together with me, because it's going to be faster that way. And there's going to be less mistakes, and it's going to be significantly cheaper. And we're going to cut time out of the equation completely. But I want to preface this option number two. It's not something where you should work with me, all right? Because I am a successful e-commerce entrepreneur. I'm not some marketing agency. I'm not some consulting firm. I only work with people who I actually like, and I want to work with myself personally. And that's not some takeaway tactic. That's the truth. I am very picky about who I work with as coaching clients, and I'm actually pretty good friends with a lot of my students. And you can look me up online. I have the results, and I am proven to have these sales over a long period of time. And I only want to work with people that it makes sense for me to invest my time and invest my energy into. But if I do choose to work with you, I have a special invitation for you, right? This invitation is for my accelerator program. And so in 6 months or less, we're going to get your high ticket Shopify store up to 10K a month consistently in profit. And again, it's not some agency, it's not some course, it's not some consulting firm. It's going to be a one-on-one mentorship program with me directly, where I'm going to build your store alongside you as if it was my own store. I'll just take you through the whole process. So you're not gonna have to test anything. You're gonna be able to copy and paste exactly what works for me into your e-commerce business. And it'll be done with you. That way we're going to help find these high ticket products and become authorized dealers for the best, most highly profitable brands together. And on top of getting these products, we're going to let you use my templates and scripts for your store. And we're going to get you all of our resources that we use internally. So what is this going to do for you? Well, you have to ask yourself this question. If you had an exact step-by-step system that's proven over and over again, and that I've spent thousands of dollars scaling, and if if you had the right shopping ad structure, the right high ticket, high profit margin sell products to sell, what would that do for you and your business? Well, again, you have to answer that yourself. What would that do for you? So if that sounds like you and you want to have a semi-autopilot, high-ticket Shopify store that generates $300 to $500 in profit a day consistently with my personal help, I am willing to help you. But again, I don't want to overpromise here. I don't want to give you the false expectations because we don't work with everyone. We only work with people that we feel like it makes sense to work with them and that we actually get the results for. Because some people, they're kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They're not committed to the process. We want to make sure that you are committed to this process. So here's how we're going to choose you. This is how we're basically going to see if it makes sense to work with you. We're going to get you a free 45-minute call. And this call is basically going to be with me and my team. And we're going to, diagnose your current situation. And we're going to see if my business model here is going to work for you. We're going to map out an action plan for you. Because whether or not we work together, I want to give that to you so you know exactly what your next steps will be. Even if we don't work together, if you want to go at it alone, exactly what you should do in exactly what order. And I promise it's going to be most valuable 45 minutes for your business this year. Because normally these consulting calls that I do with clients, I charge a minimum of $5,000 for these consulting calls. And you're going to be getting it for free because I want to make sure that we work together, we do this the right way. And our intention is just to get to know you, to see if it makes sense to partner with you together. And if we do feel like it makes sense to partner with you, we're going to move forward on this. If we feel like it doesn't make sense, if you're not the right person, you're not the right fit, we're just going to move on and you're going to get some free value out of it. Again, you're going to get that action plan so that even if you go at it alone, you're going to know exactly what to do at every single step of the way. And again, you're going to have that game plan. You can take it and run with it. It's all yours, personalized just for you. And so if this is for you and you have a burning desire to succeed and you want to do whatever it takes, you're honest with yourself, with other people, you're an ethical person and you're willing to invest in yourself. And, that's who I want to work with, right? But I do want to say this, it's not for you if you're content with where you are and you don't want to grow, right? If you're a quitter, if you're staying on the sidelines, and if you're looking for some get rich quick scheme, if you're kind of a greedy person, because I don't want to work with just anybody at this point, right? I'm already successful. I don't need to do this at all. I do it because I want to help and help people a long-term strategy for success here, right? So I am really picky. And if you hop out on this call, I'm going to hear a little bit more about my long-term strategy I was talking about and why I'm actually taking the time to help out, smaller businesses and beginning e-com entrepreneurs to help them get there. But I don't want to work with closed-minded people because it's not just fun working with them, right? I want to work with people that have the right mindset. They're honest, they're ethical, they want to get to this next level. Because the most successful companies in the world, the thing they have in common is they have good people and they have the right systems in place, all right? And I know that I can give you this right system. And if I give you the right information, you're going to be able to grow and you're going to be able to prosper. But if you don't have the right systems and the right information, you're going to be stuck forever. And if you don't adapt, you're going to continue to be in the same boat. I can promise you that. This system is overlooked right now, but the more time passes, the more you'll miss your chance to establish yourself as a lasting e-com store in this space. And you just have to ask yourself, do you want to be one of those companies that's on the other side of history? Or do you want to be that person that's always sitting on the sidelines, watching others succeed, always finding an excuse to not make something happen and having a victim mindset? So you have to make that decision. Do you want to adapt? Do you want to move towards new things? Because if you don't, your competition is going to schedule the free call below. And it's going to be a free high-ticket e-com launch call, no strings attached. And again, me and my team are going to get with you and we're going to interview you. And we're going to make sense if it makes sense to work with you. And if it does, we're going to go ahead and do that. But if not, you're going to get so much value that I promise you just take all these things I gave you today and you put your head down and you work, you will be able to achieve the results either way. So make sure to look out for that bonus email with the high ticket product and niche cheat sheet. I appreciate you getting all the way through the video here. So that bonus is completely yours. It's in your email right now. So make sure to go through that step by step, use that system and implement it into your business. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to take notes again if you want to watch this back, and make sure to put this in your business. And I will see you on our call together. Peace.